Like most countries globally, our economy has suffered a severe setback as a result of the pandemic. The Planning Institute of Jamaica recently reported a large decline of 1.7% in real GDP for quarter ended March 2020, and has projected a decline of 12 to 14% for the April to June quarter, and 4 to 6% for the fiscal year 2020-21 overall. This represents the most significant economic decline we have suffered in over 4 decades. It is therefore an imperative that we get our economy back to full productive capacity as quickly as possible. As of tomorrow, we are moving towards a broader opening of our economy. I cannot overemphasize, however, that we need to do this in a safe way. We must continue to protect lives while securing our livelihoods. During the period June 1 to June 14, all persons seeking to re-enter Jamaica will be subject to testing, except for those entering from a country within the travel bubble, as defined on which we will give the specific criteria of those countries we consider to be within our bubble. And for clarity, Jamaicans returning from countries not considered to be within our travel bubble would be required to be tested and quarantined at home with either phone or wristband geofencing. Now, as of June 15, non-Jamaican nationals will be allowed to enter Jamaica. Protocols regarding this have been established, and further details will be provided in due course. The day to next day, night to early morning curfews will continue in place starting 9 p.m. tonight to 5 a.m. tomorrow morning, day to day, until 5 a.m. on the morning of June 14th, 2020. In the night time of June 14th, the curfew will begin 10 p.m. through to 5 a.m. the following morning, day to day, until 5 a.m. on the morning of June 30th, 2020. Buses will continue to be allowed to carry only seated passengers. However, after much deliberation, we will be allowing motor cars with PPV licenses to carry the number of passengers allowed by the license. We recall before it was one less. Now we're allowing the PPV private passenger vehicles to carry what the license obtains. Now, this is subject to all windows being open, the air conditioning being off, and masks being worn by all persons in the vehicle. Under the Disaster Risk Management Act, we have put in place orders requiring persons 65 years of age or older to remain at home, only going out once per day for the necessities of life, to include obtaining food, medical supplies and services, conducting financial transactions and oversight of their business affairs, attending a place of worship, and importantly, exercise. Work from home orders, as I had given notice before, will be replaced with a new set of orders, which we are going to title them Work Smart, Work Safe orders. While we are encouraging persons to go back to their place of work, we acknowledge that this may not be practical or feasible in all cases. We must examine our situational realities and determine what is appropriate. During the period June 1 to 30, persons listed can make a request to work from home. So, for example, persons who are immunocompromised with underlying illnesses that are not currently under control by medical treatment and are therefore at risk, such persons will be required to present a medical certificate indicating that they are not at this time fit to work in an environment of general access which may expose them to increased risk during the pandemic. Persons who have no other suitable arrangements to care for their children at home if they were to go to work, they can negotiate with their employers, and we expect that their employers will make the necessary provisions and arrangements. Of course, this will be put in the orders. Persons who have no suitable arrangements for caring for an elderly or ailing family members, those persons we expect to be treated similarly and exemptions be provided. Gatherings in public places should not exceed 10 persons. There have been questions and requests for us to increase this number. I think we have to be very careful. We are examining that number, but it is important in limiting spread to control gatherings. So for any such gatherings of 10 or less, social distancing, that is observing the minimum 6 feet apart, must be maintained. Although social distancing and other protocols will apply, there will be exemptions for workplaces to facilitate the increased number of employees in the workplace and for companies holding their annual general meetings, AGMs. The wearing of masks, this will be extended to June 30th, 2020. Now, once you leave your home, you must wear a mask fitted to cover your nose and mouth. I have noticed a decrease in the number of persons wearing masks as I move about the country. I get many complaints, people sending me messages, people calling that our citizens are not wearing masks as much as they were 2 weeks ago. I've also observed that those who have masks are not necessarily wearing them correctly. As I said earlier, masks must cover nose and mouth. I know it is uncomfortable, and I have challenges too with it, but it is important to wear the mask and wear them properly. If you are caring for someone at home who has the virus or who has flu-like symptoms or respiratory symptoms, you must wear a mask even at home. And if you are going to seek medical attention, you must wear a mask on your way to and at the facility. Restrictions for infirmaries, hospitals, and nursing homes will be extended to June 30, 2020. The existing restrictions in relation to infirmaries will remain. This means no new patients will be admitted during the period, and no visitors will be allowed. The existing restrictions in relation to hospitals and nursing homes will also remain. Each patient can only receive 1 visitor per day. Bars which do not operate under the village retail license, nightclubs, other places of amusement, public beaches, water and other attractions will remain closed for the period June 1 to 14th. Community bars may be open from 11 a.m. and will close 1 hour prior to the start of the nightly curfew, subject to certain conditions, and I repeat those conditions: no more than 5 persons inside the bar, including the bartender, no seats, stools or chairs, or tables inside the bar. All doors and windows must be open. Social distance and wearing of masks apply inside and outside for operators and patrons. No more than 2 persons at a table on the outside, no more than 10 persons. That is, the public gathering restriction applies outside. And as I had spent an extensive period of time in my presentation explaining why we have to keep the stay-at-home orders for those persons 65 and over, no person 65 or over to be at any bar. Please note, however, that if our numbers start to rise significantly, we will reimpose tighter restrictions. Our response to the pandemic will continue to be measured and proportionate, evidence-based, and situationally appropriate.